The devil is busy. You know, when something is about to be good and on fire, the devil always try to come in to ruin. Well, let's start this over. This is take two. Welcome to Tangity of Life. I am your host, Veronica. Back with you on this Tuesday night. To my first of all, let me say co-host Victor White is not with us tonight. Also, Brother Fatine is not with us tonight. So I have two wise men sitting with me tonight. I have Mr. Sammy to my right and Mr. Carl Goodson to my left.
Hello, everyone.
So glad to have you guys join me tonight on the tea. Mr. Sammy, this is your first time with me. You've been on Male Table Talk before. Mr. Carl, this is actually your second time.
Second time.
It's your second time with me. So welcome back.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back.
Thank
So tonight I decided to have you men come and sit with me because there's some things going on out here with this relationship stuff. Like a lot of people not dating anymore. A lot of people are afraid of dating because they are afraid of what they're getting ready to get themselves into. So we're gonna just go straight into it because we are behind time and I don't want to keep you guys here all night. All right. So we're gonna just jump right into it. So welcome to our viewers out there. Thank y'all for y'all patience. We appreciate you, all of you watching. I don't know who's watching yet. My comments are not up, but welcome to Tangy Tea of Life. This is where we talk about any and everything. So welcome and thank y'all for joining us on this Tuesday. Um, so yeah, let's get right into it. So I had a few ladies come to me and they had not I'm not going to say questions, but they had like some issues going on inside of their marriage. Now I want to talk about this first. I don't think I'm going to talk about the other young lady that came to me because I mean, I really didn't get permission. I like to get permission before, even though I don't say names or whatever. I still like, let them know that okay, I'm going to be talking about what you share with me or whatever. So, but she was like really in her feelings. So I don't know if I'm going to touch that one tonight, but I do want to touch one that this young lady came to me last week. We're going to talk about that, and I asked her to put it in an email letter. She kind of is not long, so we're gonna just get right into it. We're gonna see if we can help this lady.
you.
And then the main reason why I wanted you two to come on because I know that you both have been in long marriages.
Yes,
So
you can say in love.
in love,
Because
yes,
it's been love.
yeah. So first of all, let me back up for a moment and let's talk about that. We'll start. We'll let Mr. Carl start first, and you can
Well,
tell us like how long you've been married and in love and all
well,
that juicy stuff.
I've been married actually for 47 years, but I've been in love with the same woman since seventh grade.
Seventh
Seventh
grade.
grade, I saw her. She had this long hair flowing, little skinny girl, taller than I was. I was a little string bean kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with her, but it took me from seventh grade until 11th grade for me to catch her because she could run faster than I could. So, so I
We're gonna talk.
finally, I finally ran her down,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been in love for probably 50, from 11th grade, probably 52 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
We've been married for 47, and it's been a journey. It's been great, and a lot of young ladies and young men nowadays, I don't think they really understand what love means. I think uh, they confuse love with romance and feelings. And let me tell you, love is not only a feeling. Love is a um commitment.
Yeah.
You, if it was just your feelings, as soon as you get upset with each other, it's easy to walk away, or
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to give up. But love requires a whole lot more. I'm gonna tell you, Sammy said he was married 28 years, perhaps.
8 years.
For 28, he gonna tell you in 28 years, we the man is not always right, and believe it or not, the woman is not always right. Hopefully, we can talk about some of that, maybe, or whatever the young lady's going through. Maybe we can kind of help her understand. hopefully how the man feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I probably have a lot to say about the male point of view.
Yeah. Okay. And Mr. Sammy.
Yes, I was married for 28 years. I married the love of my life. She was the mother of my three kids. I have three kids and only three kids, and three kids I had was from my wife.
Mhm.
And she passed away 12 years ago. And I was telling Veronica and Carl a little while ago off screen that I actually lost her on Valentine's Day.
Mm.
So my Valentine's been known heart love Valentine's since then.
And we said that
That's
was a kind of a weird thing because I got married on Valentine's Day.
right.
So February 14th for me is an exciting day,
Yeah.
and I don't know what would have been a better day to get married.
Mm.
For one thing, I can always remember my time for my anniversary.
Yeah.
And
You know, it's on a special day, Valentine's Day, Lover's Day, as they call
yeah,
it.
so you got to come up with two presents, right?
Right. We want to Valentine's and that anniversary gift.
Happy Valensary, that's what we always call it.
Right. Yeah. So that, I mean, like we were saying off camera, Mr. Sammy, that is like I didn't know that. I mean, I wouldn't know why I would have known that, but it was just shocking. You know, when you said Valentine's Day is when you lost the love of your life, your wife.
Yeah, because
So
I normally share that with a lot of people, but
yeah.
since we were talking about relationships and stuff,
Hmm.
I figure I would share that. You know,
Yeah.
especially with the young people today, the ones that jump in and out of a relationship like they jumping in and out of a bathtub or a shower. They need to know that you can be in a long term relationship and they can last.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes both people, not just one.
It takes two.
It takes
Yeah,
two
that's it.
to make any relationship work. So, yeah. All right. So, you guys, you both have a lot of knowledge when it comes to love,
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
We've all been through things, you know, like we say, it takes two people. Um, we all know that every day is not going to be, you know, a great day for couples. We go through things, we argue, you know,
Yeah,
we may say some things that we shouldn't say,
that's true.
but it happens, you know. So we're going to get into like, how do you all, or how, you know, did you, you know, go through it as far as keeping things spicy, like when you all get in arguments and things like that, like how did you come back together to make it work, you know, and not like, because I've said this before on the show, I've been, you know, married before and I can walk by him like I didn't even know him, you know, like we get into an argument or whatever, and I'm talking about like maybe 2-3 days,
Wow.
but I had to learn, you know, you can't do that
Right.
because
No, no.
you're in the house with this man. This is your husband. You
That's
can't
right.
just walk by and not talk or not speak. You know, like
Mhm.
if something, God forbid, would have happened and we wasn't speaking,
Mhm.
like that would have torn me apart.
Right.
So we have to, and I learned it today. Like, you know, I learned not to hold grudges.
Well, that's one of the first things that you have to learn in marriage. Learn how to fight well.
Mhm.
You can't just get so upset that you alienate yourself away from the person that you love.
Mhm.
When you do that, what you're doing is you putting out just a little bit of your love and commitment every time you do that. Because when the door is closed to communication, I must admit, I am the kind of person, if I get upset, if my wife says something to me
Mhm.
and my feelings are hurt, I might get very upset with her. But she would probably be the first one to tell you, it's not because I'm so mad, but it's because sometimes I have to think through. I'm a person who likes to really make sure I understand where she's coming from. So it may take me a half a day or a day to think through what she's telling me. And most of the times I tell her, when she tells me something, it's either the truth or either she misunderstands what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I'm saying there's a male point of view. And the reason I said the male point of view is so important because we may not look at something as being as important as it is to a woman.
Right.
As a woman, you may take something we say, it may be one of the worst things you ever heard, and we may think, oh, that's not really anything. But if you grew up and you was in either a loving home and your mother and father was loving, you never saw your father say or do some of the things that your husband did to you, that's going to be an offense. If you grew up in a home where there was abuse and all kind of language used and cursing
Yeah.
and everything, you may be able to take a little more. That woman may be able to handle that situation better than you.
Right.
And if your husband is not in tune with who you are, he's gonna fail every time.
Mm.
He's gonna fail every time
Yeah.
because he's gonna always think it's about him.
Yeah.
He's gonna always think his feelings matter the most. Um, when you get married, you cleave. The husband cleaves to the wife. That's what the Bible say. The husband cleaves to the wife. In other words, you don't just come and excuse me, marry me. I'm cleaving to you means I become so much a part of you that there's nothing that you can do or say or anything that you can do that I'm not going to hurt when you hurt it.
Hmm.
So it's important, especially if you're a young man and you listen to us tonight, that you learn how to respect your wife for who she is. She's not going to be like another woman you may have known. She's not going to be like your sister or your mother. She's going to be herself. And if you can get to know who you married to, you'll know that some of the things that they say or do,
Yeah.
it's not always negative. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth hurts.
Yeah. And a lot of times we as women, we do want our way,
Of course.
Miss-
Of course.
Mr. Sammy, what are your
I know that
thoughts?
like tonight the vibe from the show is a little different because
Mhm.
everything that me and Carl are talking about right now is like positive stuff. And when you're in a marriage, the husband or the wife can't always be right.
Mm.
Because if one of them right all the time, that means the other one is always wrong.
Mm.
So if you
I
always
like that.
wrong, then it ain't gonna work.
I like that.
And like I said, I was married for like 28 years. Me and my wife we never had a fight. We
Mm.
didn't fuss. Sometimes she wanted to fuss. That when I would go outside and work in the yard,
Okay.
so she can't fuss by herself.
Mhm.
So we got along fine for those 28 years. And I would never ever leave home and go to work or anything without kissing her on the forehead and tell her I love her.
Mhm.
And that lasted for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're not the first person that said that you and your wife never had an argument. My pastor he was our pastor at Reverend Burroughs.
Yeah.
Reverend Burroughs actually said that we was at a couples
Retreat.
yeah, and he said him and Mrs. Burroughs never had an argument. And I was like, wow. And now to hear you say that, it that takes a lot.
And see what
Like,
happened, people that argues and stuff, when you tell them that, they don't believe that.
yeah.
But that do happen.
Yeah, because even when I told someone that, I was like, my pastor said him and his wife ain't never had an argument.
They stay married a long.
And they was like, ain't no way.
Yeah, it can happen.
Ain't no way. But yeah, and they, like you said, they was married a long time. May he rest in peace, Reverend Burroughs. Yeah.
A lot of young couples, one of the things that they, for some reason, they argue about money. And as you get older, Sammy, he can reiterate what I'm saying.
Mm.
Money is you're gonna have situations when you first get married where you're gonna have some bills, and a lot of young couples don't make it through that critical time where they're arguing because I don't have what I used to have. I can't do what I used to do. Nobody wants to give up what they've been enjoying all their lives. They want to go on with their friends and do whatever.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that money, you should be more in love me and my wife, we always laugh and says, "Man, we was seeing some kind of love when we didn't have it. All we had was each other."
Hmm.
And it was probably some of the most beautiful love. But a lot of couples argue about money. But let me tell you, if you take care of your wife and she takes care of you, and that marriage is going to last a long time. One day, money will be the least. I'm sure your parents, they're not even concerned about how
Right.
much money they got now.
Yeah.
If you stay married long enough, that becomes something that you almost can find time to laugh about. So, I would encourage young people, you know, try to pay off your bills, try to be debt free as soon as possible, and learn how to spend time with your wife doing some
Hmm.
things that she enjoys, and she needs to spend some time with you doing the things you enjoy.
And you that's correct because a lot of relationships, marriages do end because of finances.
They-
You know,
I don't understand.
but uh, we've all say, things are different when our parents was together. When our parents was together, things wasn't as expensive. Like my father, he took care of all the bills. Like these days, it's kind of hard for one person to take care of all the bills,
Yeah, that's
and
hard.
that's when it comes down to here's an argument, because of finances, like, oh, you trying to get this, but we can't afford this. Like, why do you want this, blah, blah, and it turns into a big argument. Like finances is a big thing when it comes to all right. Well, we have comments coming in, but I'm going to get to this. I'm going to see if we can help this young lady right quick. Did y'all have anything else personal that you wanted to say first before I move on?
One thing about when you were just talking about the financial thing,
Hmm.
what happens with a lot of people now is they run into financial problems because they want so much.
So
Not
much
that
so
they need,
quick.
not that they
Yeah.
need, that they want. And
Yeah.
then once you start having the financial problems, ain't nothing gonna work. You're gonna come home, take your frustration out on your wife. The wife gonna take frustration out on the husband.
Hmm.
And then if you really look at it, finance leads to going outside the marriage.
Yeah.
Finance, a lot of that stuff boils down to finance.
Hmm.
Even like this is you know, cancer awareness and
Hmm.
abuse month. A
Hmm.
lot of the abuse stuff come from finance too.
Yeah.
Because if you have financial problems, all kind of stuff happens.
Yeah. All that plays a part.
You just got to put everything in the right place, and
That's
life
right.
is short,
Yeah.
and then just have what you need.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. That definitely plays a part.
yeah.
Well, this young lady, she has a lot going on. So, uh, sh- she says, I had one. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me go back. Um, she says, she watches the show, so she's probably watching tonight. So she said it's 11 years, 11-year marriage, and she's thinking about calling it quits. She says they've been together since freshman in college, and she's saying that she does majority of everything around the house. And when it comes to the kids, she says she does the line work. She takes care of the two kids plus their bonus child, which is she has custody of her sister child for she didn't get into details with that. So 3 kids, and she says she's back and forth practices, cheerleader practice, football practice, because they're all in sports. So she's back and forth taking the kids to the different, practices that they have. She says she has to come home, she has to cook, she has to get the kids ready for bed. And she says she does all of this without her husband even helping at all. She said, but he pays the majority of the bills. And the two teenagers, she have 2 teenagers, and her sister child is 11. So she's dealing with 2 teenagers. I know about those teenagers.
Yeah.
2 teenagers, and her sister child is 11. She said they barely make time for one another, her and her husband. They barely make time for each other. And she said they don't go on dates, and they are to the point where they barely have conversations with each other. And she said she's tired and she's unhappy. She said she does not want to see the kids hurt by the breakup. So that is what's holding her there. but she said that she is ready to leave, but she just don't know how to tell the kids because it's
Yeah.
going to break them apart.
Yeah.
And I get that. But at the same time, we do have to be careful when kids are involved because the kids see that. They see the arguing, they see the unhappiness from their parents. So
And that's what we were gonna. I'm gonna say, even and I would hate for that marriage to break up, but it sounds like maybe they've hit the wall because there is no communication taking place, and as we already said earlier, if they're not talking to each other at all, essentially the marriage is already over.
mm,
Not that I'm trying to go and sell something to this young lady
mhm,
to go out and get a divorce. I think y'all have a lot to talk about. He doesn't want to go to counseling, but I would recommend if she has a job and they pay for counseling, that she goes and get counseling for herself because she needs some kind of strength. She needs somebody to talk to. As Sammy says, finding something on the outside of her marriage is not the right idea. It's not the right thing. But this husband, um, I tried to do as much as I could, and I still do. We still married. I still, will get up and, I'm a man, but I know how to wash clothes and I wash dishes and I try to take the load off of my wife when I can,
mhm.
and she does the same thing for me. Uh, I don't see where he's into this marriage as a man should be, and she doesn't um she's not saying she have the support of any family or friends.
Right.
She also doesn't say she has the support of God, of some kind of church life or pastor. She doesn't mention all that. But
Mm-mm.
I would recommend that she find some time to really find out where she is in life before she goes out and get a divorce. But if he's not willing to talk to me, she's just wasting her time.
And saying this
It's a
is
hard thing.
yeah, it's hard. And saying this is where it comes, where I'm not saying that she's cheating or he's cheating, but this is where it comes easy for someone to slide in there and give her what she's missing at home or what he's missing at home, because she's only telling her side of the story. But we can only go by what she's telling us. But that's when, if you don't have that strong mind, this is where somebody can come in and be like, oh, I can do better than that. I can do this for you. He's not doing this.
Right.
And at the same time, we talk about this a lot on the show. When a man have the power of money, because she said that he pays the majority of the bills, so I'm guessing he makes you know
Good money.
good money. you know
Yeah.
and that's when some men feel like they don't have to do anything. They're paying for the bills. They're the head honcho of the house.
Yeah.
They don't have to. So what you can do is take the kids to practice. What you can do is come home and cook.
Wow.
What you can do is get out there and do some yard work.
Yeah. That's an unbalance though. Paying the bills ain't enough to hold a marriage together.
Yeah, takes more
He's
than
not
that.
spending
But
time.
by reading the letter, she didn't say anything about him, you know, cheating, right?
Yeah, she
Mm-mm.
didn't say anything.
She didn't think about him
him
being
No.
abusive.
Mm-mm.
He's just not carrying his load at the house.
Right.
How old is he?
I don't know.
How old? Did she say how old she were?
They sound young.
They're in their 30s.
And
Okay, so if they're
Late
because they got
late
two
30s.
teens, so you may be 20, maybe 34, 35,
They're
36.
in their late.
so one of the
They
issues
got
could that
two
be with,
teens.
because if they're in their 30s, when he was coming up, he probably didn't see his father doing those things.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
saying.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't see your father doing that when you was coming up, it's going to be hard for him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he needs to be around some men, some positive, some men that can be good mentors. I deal with this so much every day, where men pay the bills, or
Mhm.
the only one working, the wife ain't working, where they just feel like the wife owes them and they can do anything they want. I mean, I'm telling them at the same time, that's not going to be enough to help your relationship, because your wife desires time
Hmm.
time to spend with you. Sometimes my wife just get adamant and say, we just need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I do understand that's how it is sometimes. We
Hmm.
just need to be together, alone.
Right. And it takes that. Like it takes that a long time just to get away from it all and just be you two together. Leave the
Yeah.
noise behind and just
You don't have to
But
be by yourself to be lonely.
from by the
yeah,
letter,
and that's true.
but from
That's
by the
true.
letter, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
going by the letter, no.
there's a lot worse guys out there than him. So she need to do everything she can to try to make it work, because a lot of times what you have is a lot better than what you're gonna end up with.
Yeah, but why should I be out here? Can you help a little with the kids? Can I come home to you to something on the stove where you didn't cook because I'm out here with the kids late at night
Mm,
waiting, for them to get finished football practice, basketball practice, whatever it is. Like, can you help out just a little?
yeah.
Do I have to do everything? That can get frustrating.
But
I wonder why he's not taking the kids to the practice and stuff.
mhm. And she doesn't say whether she's asked him to do these things or whether she's just accepting what he says, because most men like to spend time at games
Right.
and with I took my kids to the band practice and
Right.
picked them up, and
Yeah.
actually I enjoyed it. It was hard because it was the middle of the night. You got to be
Yeah.
there and do it, but I still think it's going to be so important to him if he love his kids. If this man love his children, it's so important that he work out something with the mother, that they can see if they can't make this marriage
Mhm.
work.
See, and that was the thing with my parents. Like both of my parents was there. I mean, thank God for that. My mother and my father. On band practice, one of them would pick us up.
Mm,
Band
that's what I'm
competitions,
saying.
we out of state or whatever. They're at the band competition. They traveling with the band. They traveling with following the bus.
Yep.
Basketball games. They're there supporting me.
Went
Come
to
on, Ronnie. They're there. But going back to what Mr. Sammy said, maybe he wasn't raised in a household where his dad was around.
no
Maybe he
model.
didn't see.
He didn't. No one modeled it for him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not unusual for a lot of men saw their father cheat. They cheat on their wife.
Yeah.
A lot of them saw their father abuse their mother. They abuse their wife. And
Hmm.
sounds like to me he he's not comfortable
Hmm.
um talking to his wife in a romantic way. But
Hmm.
didn't something what made him get married in the first place? I mean, she didn't see, there was no signs at all.
Young, freshman, and they got together. She said they met what freshman in college. So, oh, no, they was
Hmm.
yeah, freshman in college. So I guess comfortable. You know how a lot of us get comfortable in a situation, and we are afraid to move out of that comfort zone. Like I'm with him. This is who I'm going to be. I hear a lot. I'm not going to say men, but I hear a lot of women say that they're comfortable where they're at. That's why they're afraid to step out. They don't want to start
Wow.
over. They don't want to start over from where they're at. So they're going to sit there. They're going to take whatever abuse, whatever they're going through, because they don't want to start over. They're comfortable where they're at.
But the thing with her is, she's still young, so
Mhm.
she can't stay comfortable that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got too much life left.
And that what
Yes, yeah, that's a
yeah,
she got
she's
a lot of
young.
life in front of her
Mhm.
to be miserable at this
Yeah.
age. It doesn't sound like she's um getting emotional, um kind of emotional care and love from her husband. So if she's not getting that, then there's no intimacy involved.
Right.
And intimacy has a lot to do with marriage.
Hmm.
You can hold that person
Hmm.
at night, and you can wake up in the morning and laugh, and it sounds like she's just not getting much of anything at all out of this marriage. And I'm concerned about that because it's so easy for her to get into a worse situation if
Mhm.
she choose to separate from him and they hadn't tried it. Because a lot of times that might be a trial separation might shock him back into what he needs to
Right.
do. If not, something is going to be revealed. But
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like he's a bad guy. It just sounds like he just has grown.
Haven't been taught that.
Yeah, and sound like he's just grown complacent with his
Mhm.
marriage.
Yeah.
Hey, could you read the comment that Patricia put on there?
Patricia says, she said that she has custody of her sister's child. I wonder if there was a conversation with the husband about the taking on a bonus child. Maybe he feels like he's taken on more than he signed up for, and that could be true.
That
You
could
know,
be true.
we had a letter.
Probably problem with
Yeah, you remember we had
Yes,
that
sir.
letter not too long ago where the husband just brought his mama in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Like he moved his
Didn't ask.
mama, didn't ask her anything. He just moved the mother in. We have to be careful with that. You know, we have to be careful with doing things, especially so that's like that's a bit much to be moving somebody in the house without letting your significant other know.
Sure.
So that could be one thing that he could, you know, be upset about. Maybe she didn't talk to him about it. But now we're, you know, speculating like we don't know, but
Right.
that could be. That could be. Um providing financial what is destiny providing financially is not all it takes though. Some men don't tend to kids and it's sad. Hmm. That is sad. There's a lot of men that don't take care of their kids, but there's a lot of mothers out there too that don't need to be mothers. But that's another story.
Yeah, well, we're from the old school where the mothers were the nurturers and the man was the breadwinner. But my wife worked her whole life, and I was the primary breadwinner for a long time.
Hmm.
And then when my job closed down after 30, maybe 34, 35 years,
Hmm.
I took a job making way less than she did, but she didn't disrespect me in any way. My wife respect me because I showed her over the years and promised her when I married her I was going to take care of her. Didn't say that she wouldn't work and help us help along with everything. But over the
Hmm.
years I've learned to respect her finances and my finances. We see them as one. I don't worry about money. I don't because I've got everything I need. If I want something, I can go and get it. And if she wants something, she can go and get it. So maybe she needs to look at her life and make some change. If your children are teenagers, she ought to be ready to maybe go back to school, maybe find something that can keep her. Because I know what she's doing with a lot of running, but maybe she needs to concentrate on herself, and because sounds like she
Hmm.
has low self-esteem
Mm.
also.
I mean, because doing all those things and not thinking that someone is there supporting you, that can tear you down. And that can have you start feeling a certain way about yourself. Like, why isn't why isn't he helping me? You know, like is he seeing someone? It's like you know how things start
Sure.
playing in your head and you start wondering and thinking all of these things and then he's not communicating. We're not communicating with one another.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this. So what are you doing with your time when you can't take the kids to practice? You know, what are you doing? Why are you putting all this on me?
Mhm.
So I mean, I don't that is a lot for someone. That's a lot on
I don't see how I got one daughter that's a single mother, and she has to do all this. And let me tell you, by 8 o'clock at night, she's tired
yeah.
because she gotta pick him up. She's gotta take him to school.
Mhm.
She's got to go to work. She gets off. She's got to eat. She got to send him to aftercare. She's so she's paying for this and that.
Mhm.
Her my grandson's father does pay for much of the stuff that he needs to be like sports and everything,
Yeah.
but she still's the one got to take him
Right. And that's
and bring
one.
him, and that's just one. She's
Imagine
got
3.
three.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
they love sports,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was something that Carl mentioned a minute ago, and I don't know how many men we have watching this show tonight. Carl said there was a time that he lost his job, and then he got another job where he was making less money than his wife.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men have problems when they making less money than their wives. So,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to men of color. So because they said, okay, if I'm making less money than her, now she is the head of the house. But the
Mm-hmm.
money doesn't control that. But a lot of people look at it that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I never been in a household where my wife made less money, more money than
More
I have.
money.
So I don't know that feeling. But I tell people all the time, the more money that she made, the less money I had to spend. So that would have been fine, you know. But they don't
Mm-hmm.
look at it like that.
Yeah, a lot of men don't look at it like
No.
that. But
Mm-mm.
my wife has always taken care of whatever needs to be done in the house, and whatever the kids needed, clothes and all that. And I put the bulk of the money in, making car payments and keeping things going that break. But if money's causing, if it doesn't sound like money is the real problem behind what she's going through. She said he's a good provider,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all he's doing is providing. He's
Mm.
just a provider. He's not really
You need more than
he's
that.
not really being a man, is what I'm saying, Sammy. You're a man. You said something about you go in, you escape into your yard. Well, that's what I do. I spend time with my wife, but sometimes I need to go in the yard. And for all my life, I've been the only person out there. But when we retired, I said, she was bored. I said, come out in the yard. Now she's out in the yard more than I am, but
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't bother me. She doesn't cross what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't cross what she's doing. She does what she want to do. My yard's big enough for both of us. But we did find out something. She found out something. We have that in common. She didn't know that over the years. She thought it was just something I love to do.
Right.
And I told her, well, the only reason I do it is for the peace and quiet. There's
Mm.
nothing. So she doesn't have any hobbies. So all she doing is working. She doesn't say what her dreams were, what
Mm-hmm.
her aspirations were. But I would guarantee she went to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, they.
She has a college education, and she doesn't feel like she's living up to her potential.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that now.
Oh,
I feel like
I
she's
don't.
you. I know you're not living up to your potential, but
Yeah,
don't let that affect who you are.
I don't like that. I don't. I mean, I've been, in a place in my life where, I wasn't happy and I stayed because of one reason or another. But I mean, I mean, it's hard, especially. I know a bunch of people that say, "Oh, I stayed in a marriage. I'm gonna stay in a marriage until my kids get 18 and go off to college." And so you just gonna be miserable
I had
instead
a
of.
I had a friend. He actually was a best friend of mine. He got married straight out of high school. His wife was actually in 11th grade when she got married because she got pregnant.
Mm,
They had marital problems through the whole marriage,
mm,
Wow.
but they stayed together until his younger child became 18.
wow,
And then they
and
divorced.
Then they got divorced.
it
Yeah.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I placed my life on hold, unhappy,
But
sad,
I think the reason he
down
did
and
it
out.
was to avoid the child support issues,
Mm,
not because of he wanted to be there for the kids. Because at 18, the kids still need their father.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he did it for the child support reasons.
So let me ask y'all this. It's changing subjects, but not really, but changing subjects. So I know a lot of women, do ask this question: Why men? We talk about this on the show a lot. Why do men keep their feelings to themselves and not open up to their significant other? Why is it so hard for men to express their feelings? And I know, Victor and Fatine, they would say something like, because that person, that woman, would throw what they said to them in private back up in their face one day when they get mad. And I can't
Wow.
understand, and I do
Yep.
get it. Like some women do, some women, I'm a woman. Some of us do, you know, talk too much and we say things before we think about it. And by that time, I'm like, well, you remember when you told me
I'll take that one first.
Yeah, so that's a hard one.
we
Man.
need you in the mic for this one too?
Yeah,
Come
the
on.
main reason man doesn't open up to their significant other is because most men not going to share those feelings with your significant other. They're not even going to share them with anyone.
Mm.
And then, like we say a lot on the podcast, when you at the low point, she's gonna throw that back at you.
I don't
She
understand
do it.
that.
It's hard.
She do it because she see that there's a weak point there, and a man don't ever want to show that weakness because a lot of men ain't gonna cry unless there's death.
Mhm.
If there's not death, they're not gonna cry because I'm one of those guys. If it ain't death, Sam ain't crying. And then the way I look at death now is death is a given.
Mhm.
And I know, where to put death and stuff like that. When I cry for death, it's a tear of happiness and stuff because, they have gone on to the reward. But that's something that we all got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but we can't just open ourselves up to them because, like they say, they'll just throw a bunch of salt and everything else in it.
Oh, that's so mean though. Like,
No, that's real world stuff.
But
That's real
what I'm
world.
gonna tell you, Veronica, it is hard for a man to share what he's feeling because it doesn't feel natural to go out and tell somebody. But I've been married long enough, and I try to put it, tell my wife things in a way, and most of the time she'll tell me something, and like Sammy said, I'll come back and tell her how I feel. But for as me just coming to her and saying, I feel like this because you said this, or I feel like this because you did this,
yeah.
it's hard. I'm one of those men too who kind of just, when you hurt me, I just go off and be by myself for a while and think about it. But even then, I'm not coming back and telling you what you've done. And I think that I'm not gonna say that's um something old men would do, but we're not even sure if that's gonna help the relationship sometimes because if you tell a woman how you really feel, they think it's them. They think they caused you to feel like that. So then now you got another argument. Haven't I been good to you? Haven't I did this? Haven't I done that? And so maybe that's why most of us men hate to share the truth. But now on the other hand, women will tell you how they feel.
Oh yeah.
Grandmama, mama, your wife, and your daughters.
See, the reason women do that is because
And they will tell a man, listen, daughters will tell a father quicker than they'll tell a mother what they're going through. You know why? Because the man is not gonna he's not gonna blab it. They're not gonna hear it anymore. Um,
That's true.
I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
They're not gonna hear it again. If they tell their mother might bring it back up, and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I feel
Because she's hurt now.
right, and I feel like dads they're more compassionate. Like, not saying that mothers not, but I'm just saying, like, if I was to go to my dad and be like, Daddy, listen, I have this going on, you know, vice versus me telling mom will be like, well,
Yeah.
like, why did you do it like this? Or what happened? What, Herman?
What? Did you- That's
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, we try not to get all into our feelings, and a lot of times it's easier to talk. That's why a lot of women have more friends that are men than are women.
Yeah.
They might have one good friend that's a woman, but they might
Yeah.
have more friends that are men.
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time, and I
Yeah.
hear them all the time because they feel like I can talk to this person, I can talk to that person, but they feel like if I tell my sister, she's just gonna go and tell my other sister and
Hmm.
start some trouble. So
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
Yeah. Patricia said it depends on the woman. All women are not like that. Wait, let me go back.
No, it's
As
not.
a
It's not ever all.
as a couple, you should
Never
be
all.
able to open with your significant other. Yeah, then that's
Yeah,
true. But and the more you hold it in, I feel like that is
yeah,
not healthy.
yeah. You do have to talk to each other about the hard things. You know, people like to talk about the easy things when you're married, but you got to be able to talk about them hard
Yeah.
things. You got to deal with the reality of life, the harshness of life. I
Hmm.
tell my wife all the time, you know, don't don't worry so much about me because she's concerned about me, about my health sometime and stuff.
Hmm.
But I told her when I'm feeling good, I feel good. When I'm feeling bad, you know, just let me take it easy. If I'm saying all I want to do is lay down for a few hours, then just let me do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Well, it's been 47, it'll be 48 years for you all in February,
Hmm.
Valentine's Day. So it seemed like it will be easier for you to be able to talk to your
It gets easier because um you don't have anything to hide. You know, you don't have anything that you worried about. You know, we're not worried about finances at this point.
yeah.
We're not worried about going to work at this point. So
I'm gonna make a comment on
But
Carl when he finished about
so
that.
we do have more time to talk to each other now. It's you more and we're more relaxed too around each other.
yeah, but do you still hold stuff back?
Mostly if I'm holding something back it's because she says something to me which was the truth and I didn't like it because she will
Because
tell
she
me
was
the
right.
truth.
Yeah.
She's right and it takes me about a day to get over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you gotta understand the reason Carl and his wife been together for 48 years is because of the way he is.
Mm.
Yeah. See, so by him not telling her all that, it working.
Mhm.
So if it working for 48 years, don't mess it up.
Now I'm easy to forgive.
You don't mess
See
it up.
that this is the situation for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I don't if
Mhm.
we had a disagreement, I'm not gonna be mad with you when
Right.
nighttime comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going in no room by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's where a
When I
lot of
get in that bed, I'm still hold you. You be mad, but I'm gonna
yeah.
still reach over there and pull you close to me. You know, so don't be so angry with someone because they won't tell you everything they know because eventually they'll take your time and respect that person's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Now you was married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that some of the same things sound like this young lady went through that you experienced your own self, but maybe in a different way, different degrees. And you know for a fact you did not want your marriage to end.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave it all you had, right?
Right.
You did all you could do,
Yeah.
but it still didn't work, right?
Right.
Well, sometimes you was never meant to be together.
And that's the thing.
She might be thought this was the one.
Yeah. Well, and there's a saying, what God didn't put together is not gonna last.
Yeah.
So, we all go through, our relationships and we go through breakups. So that just wasn't the person for you. That's how I look at things now. That wasn't meant for me. At that time, I thought that was the person for me, but it just wasn't the right person. Can y'all agree with that? I mean,
Well, I knew in seventh grade she was the one for me.
and you kept
I
pushing.
kept to her.
You ain't let her go.
And she's the one.
So do you think that was your well, that is your soulmate?
She's the one.
Yeah.
Hey, but Veronica, like
Mhm.
you said, maybe he wasn't the one for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't
I'm not-
agree with
I'm
that?
not gonna agree with that. It's not a negative thing.
Yeah.
He was the one for you for that time. That don't mean
But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for that time.
That doesn't
Yeah.
mean he have to be the one for you forever.
Yeah.
Because people come in your life for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got something out of that marriage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful
You know,
child.
Yes, most
Smart,
definitely. Yeah.
handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to last
So I'm not
forever.
going to say I regret it. I'm not saying
Because
that
it
because
doesn't last forever. don't mean it was a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I
That's
said,
true.
you said you did all you could do.
Yeah.
And unless he was willing to do all he could do to hold it together, you couldn't hold it together alone.
Yeah.
Because
You
like
couldn't,
I,
don't care
You-
what.
that's why I
told
say it
somebody
takes
before,
two.
right? They were talking about divorce, right? I said divorce been in Webster for a long time, so it ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
That's something that's been going on for a long time,
Hmm.
and they're going to continue.
Yeah.
Probably what the rate like 50%.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. I went to a
Mm.
wedding last week, and there was some elderly sisters of mine that was at the table with me. And then I ran into some of my aunts the next day, and some of them had the same. These aunts are like 89, 90, 92, 93, and they go to the gym over here and work out, at the center.
Hmm.
And my two aunts, and they were saying, well, you know what? They could have took that money, spent all that money on that wedding. They could have took that money and pay off that house payment and stay and married. Me and my wife got married on Sunday. We didn't have a big wedding. We got married at her mother's house one Sunday
Mm.
after church. And we've been married for 48 years. And people have big weddings
Yeah.
and don't stay married for 3 years.
Hmm.
So it's like Sammy said, you got to have more than that good feeling. Like,
Yeah.
he looked good, he handsome, she's beautiful, she has a beautiful body.
Yeah.
If that's all you're gonna go on, that marriage is not gonna work. But now you want some of that now. Anybody
Yeah.
wanna be
It
married?
helps, man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that part it matters,
It helps.
but that's not gonna hold you if you don't have more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, marriage grows, and loving marriage grows.
Mhm.
It may, for me, I'm blessed. I love her more now than I did when we first got married, and I know I loved her then. But that was so romantic. It was so I just loved her and loved her,
Mhm.
from afar, so to speak. But since we've been married for a long time, I love her in a quiet, respectful way now. I love to wake up and see her in the morning.
Mm.
She ain't the woman that I got married to. I've seen her. She's had 4 or 5 different hairdos.
Yeah.
She,
Just
had
4
the
or
long
5.
haircut,
Yeah.
short hair. Now she's wearing it short, and she's tried it all. But and a lot of men get upset. They want their wife to look the same way, a
Yeah.
certain way. Every time she looks different, I just tell all the time, well, I just got me another woman to love.
Yeah.
Same woman, but so I've learned how to love everything that she does.
You let her be her.
Yes.
Like like some men make. I want to get on something so bad, but I'm not gonna. This is the second female that I spoke with that she was telling me what was going on. I'm trying not to, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like
Sound like she's hurting though.
this other woman, yeah. I mean, both of them. But the second woman that I was talking about that I spoke with her over the weekend, and she's going through something as well. It seemed like everybody is going through something within a relationship, within a marriage, But they're trying to one of them are trying to hold on, for one reason or another. But this young lady, she's really going through it, and that's why I'm like, I can't tell you to leave. That's not for me to do. You know when it's time for you to leave. I say that all the time.
Yeah, you should
That
never,
person,
you should never tell them to leave.
right? I
No.
would never tell someone to leave
No.
what they're in.
That's a decision that they gotta make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's just sad how many people are hurting. Because the woman's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, or the man not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So it's like I'm stuck. I'm in this relationship, this marriage or whatever, because I'm stuck. Like I don't feel like,
she's just miserable.
yeah, I'm miserable, but I'm
She
staying in
doesn't
it because
wake
I'm,
up, and she don't sound like she wants to wake up in the morning and deal with it.
yeah, like
Another day, another day,
I'm
another day.
tired, but I'm comfortable where I'm at, and I don't know how to leave.
But in those situations, that didn't happen all of a sudden. little
That's
things
true.
start
That's
to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And then as the little things start to happen, either you gotta change them things,
She got to do something
you gotta do
different.
something different
She got to do
before
something
she get to the
different.
point where she are now. So now she almost to the point of no return.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're both are ready to leave, but
yeah.
the one of them, the one I read the letter, she don't want to leave because of the kids.
Wow.
The other one don't want to leave because she's in love and she feel like it's going to work. He's going to change.
No, no, no.
You
He's
can't
going.
change anybody.
No.
We have lived long enough to know you can't change nobody.
What happens with a lot of women is they meet this guy and they know this guy isn't what they want. But they saying, okay,
I'm
he's
gonna
gonna
try.
change.
Yep.
Mm,
No, he's not gonna change.
After I marry him, he'll change.
mm,
He is who he is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times men will tell you who they are. But nah, he's gonna change. He's gonna change.
mhm.
He's
He,
gonna get worse and worse and worse.
He's gonna love me so much he's gonna change just
Yeah.
for me. But that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gonna change.
Mm-mm.
That's sad.
A younger woman came to me when I was at Coker College, and she said, "Mr. Carl, you always dress so nice. My husband dressed like a thug. I want you to talk to him." And I told her, I said, is he wearing the pants sagging? Because I said, how old is he? She said he was 30 something years old.
Mm.
I said, is he wearing pants sagging? Yeah. Is he wearing his hat? Yeah. He still got chains up? Yeah. I said, well, let me tell you something, honey. If he dressing like a thug and he hanging around with young thugs, he's probably doing what thugs do.
Mm.
And I says the only thing is going to change him is if he see where he wants to get out of that way of life or what he's been doing, because it looks bad for you to be an older person
Mhm.
and you still acting like you 19 or 20,
Yeah.
and so I told her, I said, one thing you can do is you can buy him some, instead of you just buy him something nice and y'all go out, tell him he looks good.
But see, and then he's gonna come back. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you trying to change who I am?"
Yeah, but you know what? She
You know?
later on she said he did change some, because I guess she addressed it with him. I guess, and so that's what I'm saying. They had an open line of communication.
Yeah.
If you don't talk,
Right.
if you don't talk about it,
Yeah.
he probably maybe not realized that
How she really felt
how she
about
felt, because
how
she
he
didn't
dressed.
say anything.
Because she probably met him that way. He probably was dressed like that when they met.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you fell in love with.
Right.
You like that when y'all was out dating.
Yeah.
And now you got teenagers and you want him, you want to be able to tell
Set
him from your
example.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So you got to be, concerned about, if you love that man and she loved her and she loved her husband, she probably needs to spend at least part of every day trying, if she wants to win him back, because maybe it's not over, like Sammy said. Maybe it's not over. Maybe he just hadn't learned to love. Maybe she needs to try her best to see where he truly is before you go out and get a divorce, or before you go out and do the wrong thing, and start trying to find love outside of your marriage.
mhm.
Just maybe you want to go ahead and at least give it uh, the right try.
Mm.
Because it doesn't sound like he's not going to counseling. He's not doing
Right.
anything. So she can't do it alone.
Right. It definitely take two.
She needs some help.
How do y'all feel about counseling? Do y'all believe in that? Or do you believe in you work it out between the two of you? But do y'all believe in going to sit in someone's chair and talk things through?
I didn't have to go to counseling because we probably just. But now my daughters, they believe in counseling. It's done them some good.
Yeah.
So I trust if you go to the right counselor.
Yeah.
Not somebody out there who just trying to hijack your wallet or something
Mhm.
like that.
Right.
But there may be some. I believe counseling can work for some things.
Hmm.
About the counseling part, I would never go to a counselor. Not because Let me see. I would never go to a counselor because I don't think that a counselor could actually help me if I had issues
Mm.
because of the way I am, you know. Because I've had people came to me and I was able to help them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always been so level and grounded until don't take no. You can laugh if you want. I think if I go to a counselor, right, I'm gonna end up having them on a chair listen to me
Mm-hmm.
because I know more about this situation than he did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pay you to listen to my problems, and you're gonna tell me what I need to do to get out of my problems when you got some of those same problems yourself.
Mm.
So I don't believe in counseling. That's just me.
So having stuff on your mind, and how do you release? Is that the right word? That's not the right
No,
word,
that's
but
that's how I deal with it.
yeah, like how do you
See the
deal
way
with it?
I'm a real world person. I see everything exactly for what it is. Most people look at things for what they want it to be, but that's not
Mm.
the real world stuff.
through rose-colored
Everything is just
glasses.
as simple
Yeah.
and plain as it can be.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why, like I told somebody before, like some people are like 100, and then they'll drop all the way down to 10. I'm always right in there between 70 and 40.
Mm.
No lower than 40, no higher than 70, because it never as bad as you think it is. And believe me, it ain't nowhere near as good as you think it is either.
Yeah.
It's just right up in here.
Yeah.
Just hold on, it's gonna level itself out. And that had worked to me for my whole entire life. No stress, never drank, never smoked, never had to do none of that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, life is simple. We complicate life.
We do complicate life.
Life is
Yeah,
very,
we
very
do.
simple.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, me personally, like I can sit and I can worry about things for days,
Hmm?
and I know it's not good.
No.
That's
I know it's not
that's
good.
not good for you.
Stress
That's
is
not good
not
for your body,
right.
and it's not good for your endocrine
Yes,
system and stuff because
yes,
you
and
you you messing up your balance.
right. And I know all of this, but I still
You
let
still do it.
things get to me. That is, I
That's just
didn't,
like
I
that's
didn't
just
know
like
that
tonight,
about
right?
you.
We was 30 minutes late, right? I know Veronica's over there on edge and stuff. I say, it's gonna be just fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything always works itself out. It always did.
that's true.
Yeah. Even some of the things that going on right now, everything gonna be just fine because
Yeah,
someone else is in control of all this. We just little characters, you know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
it.
Wow.
I used to one of the inadequacies in my marriage that used to bother me. I knew when I was in school I was smart and I was supposed to go to college, but me and my wife had our first child when we were 19 years old. And we got married, and I sent her back to college. She went to college twice
Mm.
because when she was in college when we got married, and I told her father when we got married that I was going to make sure that she finished college, and so she finished school before we got married because we wanted to make sure, even though I wasn't her husband, I
Mm-hmm.
took care of her. I gave her my car. She finished college. Okay, once she finished college, by the time she finished and things were happening, it was already like Sammy said, my daughters was in the band and all kind of stuff. Next thing I know, I had a daughter graduated. She went to college. Then I had another daughter, Carlo, came along.
Mm-hmm.
Before I could get out of this one, here's another one. She's in college. Now, here I am. I was making more money than all of them. Even though I didn't go to school, I was still making more money. I was in management.
Yeah,
I was a supervisor. I was doing good on the job. No college degree, but still making most money in the house.
yeah,
Well, I went back to college just to prove to myself that I could, right?
yeah.
But the whole while, I used to carry that kind of grudge or something. I don't know what it was in my heart that I done sent everybody to college and I ain't never been myself. This is crazy. Why? And they talking about going back and getting masters. I said, before y'all go back and get a master's, I'm gonna go back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
college.
I'm getting
And I
mine.
went back to college and everybody I told my grandkids the only reason I went back to college because I want to say to you, because you wasn't born, but what I wanted to be able to tell you, everybody in my family graduated from college.
Mm.
And I did it. And I graduated magna cum laude. And I always said, if I would have done right, I probably would have went to college first and then got married and then had the babies. But I'm like Sammy, God worked it out
Hmm.
to perfection. I still went to college. Didn't graduate until I was 55. But
Mm.
my family, every single one of them, upheld what I was doing. I couldn't be to this thing and couldn't be to all the family functions because I had a test or exam the next day and I
Mm-hmm.
had to study or whatever. But they stuck with me. And, that's what a marriage take a
Yeah.
whole lot of give
Yes.
and a whole lot of take. You ain't gonna be married 28 years and you don't give up some of the things that you like to do.
Right.
I know he loves sports and he always did. And I know his wife,
Coming in here with his red
she
skin.
I'm just saying she had to be a
Or
sports. She had to be a
whatever their name
she
are.
had to be a sports widow. So
She
she
became
had to,
she became a big sports fan.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Am I wrong or right? She
But
became
then all
son.
the kids played sports, so
That's right.
yeah.
Yep.
Mm. Wow.
Had that in common and didn't even know it, right?
Well, I see some comments coming in, but you know what? I think we're behind on this one. Mr. Herman says we live in a culture where women feel they have to be the breadwinner. They are now taught that being an educated single mother is a goal. I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true, but I think it's okay that women can have goals and aspirations just like men.
Yeah,
I'm like Sammy. I don't know
She
how.
said they're being taught that way.
that's what Herman said.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are now taught that being an educated single mother is a goal. That's not a goal. And I
I
don't.
don't think that's gonna.
Mothers in houses now will tell their daughter, go to school, don't worry about no man, get your education.
Well, I mean, that's not all mothers
Then
raising their daughters to say
I
that.
hope not.
that's their role now.
Yeah. Patricia says sometimes we hold on to something or someone to so tight for the wrong reasons. I know for me, seemed like the more I held on and the more I prayed seemed like the worse it got.
Wow. Now that's
Mm,
that's a tough statement.
mm,
Sound like she chose the man instead of waiting on God to send him. If you pick him, you can pick something bad. If you choose him just because he looks good or he paid you some attention, that's not a reason to fall in love. You know,
mm,
a lot of young people, they meet somebody at the club. Well, he's out there looking for the same thing you looking for at the club. So I'm not saying that that's not a good place to meet somebody, but there are other places that if you're looking for a good man,
mm.
and I ain't gonna say it's at church always.
Ugh.
But there's some devils he churches too.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of good men, do you think some women? Mm, how did I say that thing? Do you think some women can turn a good man into a bad man? Like they're like they say, oh, like I read this post where they was talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, and I know we celebrities, it is what it is, but she was saying how Jada made it bad for the good women to get a good man because of the things that she's doing towards her husband, how she's talking about him and making him look bad out here in these streets. So, and this is probably going to be the last question because I know you guys want to get out of here. How do you think a woman can destroy a good man? Their actions, the tone the tone they use towards that man, and like can make him turn into someone that he wasn't. Like he wasn't a cheater. He wasn't a woman beater or whatever. Do you think a woman can make you change to be?
I'll take that one first. A woman cannot make a man do anything
Mm-hmm,
that he don't want to do.
mm-hmm,
A lot of times, men will take that as an excuse to do things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing. There's nothing that a woman can do to make me become abusive to her.
Yeah.
Nothing. And about cheating, men doesn't cheat because of what their wife are doing. Men cheat because that's something that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the women that watching. You can be doing everything
Mm.
Right.
at home perfect.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's very few things that you can do perfect because you can do everything good.
Mm-hmm.
And your husband, if he want to go out in the streets, he gonna go out there, and ain't a thing you can do to stop it. And but a lot of women, when he go out there, then they look at themselves like, you know, what did I do?
Right.
You didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
It was just that guy
Yep.
doing
Yep.
something that he wanted to do. Now, me being a man, don't ask me why we do that, because if I had the answer to that, then they probably wouldn't even be in the cheating and stuff.
Yeah.
Because most men can't even tell you why they do it.
Mm.
But
And they
They do
regret. A lot of them do
They
it
tell
and
you why.
regret it. They love their family.
Mhm.
I think I read something last week about a man. He loved his family.
Mhm.
It might have been Steve Harvey morning show, but he loved his wife, but he
Mhm.
claimed he loved his girlfriend. And I'm like, you can't love both of them.
Mm.
There's no way you can love two women at the same time.
Let them tell it.
I'm
You
gonna disagree
can.
with that.
And you can love both of them.
You can love both of them. You don't love them the same.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna love them the same, but you can love both of them. You know, just like you got kids, you love all your kids. So you know, you're gonna try to separate them because the kids are different. But you can love a wife and someone else.
I'm gonna go back to
People
something.
do it. People do it all the time
I'm gonna go back.
because love is only an emotion. That's all of it.
Mm.
That's all.
I'm
it
gonna
is.
go back to something
Yeah.
that Veronica said about can you turn a man? Maybe you can't turn one, but I had ladies that were working with me, and I tell my wife this all the time. And they had because someone was at the steel plant, got a good job at the steel plant.
Mhm.
They married good men, but their husband was working on the farm. This is, this is how life was when we
Yeah.
started. The husband continued to work on the farm. The
Mm-hmm.
wife was working in the factory, making good money. The wife left the husband because she says, he's just a farmer. He don't want to go to the movies. He don't take me no way. He don't do nothing. Well, when you was married to him before you got this job, y'all was okay.
Mhm.
But now that you making more money than he is, he's no longer good enough.
Yeah.
So what happened? She didn't turn him, but she turned him loose because the men in the factory in the company was paying more attention to her
Right.
than the husband.
Yeah.
And she had the money. She could afford to go anyway,
Yeah.
do anything. She came to work dressed up,
Mm-hmm.
lipstick, eye, everything, and the fella who was in love with her, he's on the job,
Mm-hmm.
she's on the job. But guess what? When she divorced this man to get this other guy, it didn't work out for her. But by that time, the man she didn't want, which was a good man, he got married to somebody else. Even though he was a farmer, guess what? He went to church. They were always together.
Yeah.
They stayed together and they're still together. So guess what? Now she's home lonely and alone,
Yeah.
and he's happily married to somebody else because he wasn't good enough for her.
Right.
So I'm not saying, you can change that man, but you ought to be watch what you do. Don't throw away something good
Yeah.
thinking you will get something
Like they
better.
say, don't think the grass is greener
Yeah.
on the
See,
other
but-
side.
But what happened was when she went to that factory, she ran into that work husband. Those work husbands and work wives are some of the dangerous people.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
said.
She was
Yeah.
getting that attention
Yeah.
at
You see
work.
'em, if you work 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
you're gonna see that person
Mhm.
more in a week than you're gonna see your spouse.
Yeah.
You have lunch together, do everything. together.
Right.
Mhm.
She was getting more attention at work than she was at home.
And that's why we would be concerned about the other young lady. We don't know her situation.
Right.
But if she's going out to the ball game and she's sitting by the same fella and he's telling her something,
Yeah.
pretty soon she's She done drifted off on the other side.
Right.
This man, he don't know. He don't know she's in the danger zone.
Yeah. And sometimes it don't take it don't take much just for somebody to say one little thing to you that your husband or your wife didn't say to you at home. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
you're
got some
excited.
attention now. Oh, he told me my hair was killed. You know, something like that. But sometimes it doesn't take much.
You gotta be so
Especially you
careful.
have to be strong minded.
Yeah, you do.
Because if you're not, it's so quick for someone to say those little sweet nothings in your ear, and you like, okay. Then the texting start. Then the phone conversations start. You know, you doing stuff on the sneak tip, and then there you go,
Yeah.
having an affair. So we're gonna wrap it up. So, is there something that you all would like to say to the young men out there who may not be doing what they supposed to do in their marriage or their relationship? Like, is any advice?
Well, I'm gonna tell the young men, if y'all listen, the same thing that I tell the young men that I talk to just about every day or every other day. If you got a spouse and she loves you and you love her, you really need to at least spend as much time as you can trying to make the difference in the marriage. The man should be the one that's making sure that the marriage works. Too often it's always the woman trying to do it all.
Fighting for it, yeah.
Yeah, but if the man learns how to bring it, my wife always tell me the same thing. Guess what she says? You gotta start making love to me in the morning. You don't wait till the night.
Yeah.
You got to love me all day long.
Right.
You know, and that's some wise counsel
Yeah.
for a man who been married 47 years. Sometimes you got to start loving that woman before night.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And I'll tell you what, if you love your wife, you won't have to have no reason to go off and do nothing else, because Sam will tell you, for them 28 years, if you love your wife, she's right there.
Yeah.
She's right there for you. Listen, there's nothing that is sweeter than a happy marriage. There's nothing that there's nothing else like it.
Right.
There's nothing that I've experienced in any kind of relationship that I've had than being happily married. Yeah.
Love is a
People
beautiful
see
thing.
us all when they see me without my wife, they says, "Where's your wife?"
Yeah.
When they see my wife without me, they says, "Where's your husband?"
So that's my parents.
Because you rarely see us
Yeah.
apart. So
Love is so beautiful.
The thing that I could tell those young men, you know, when you're young, you know, you're on that job, you're chasing that dollar.
you right.
So when you're young and chasing that dollar, that becomes the focus, you know, because if you're married and got kids, if you got kids now, your kids gonna be the focus also.
Yeah.
But if you just got a wife, you're chasing that dollar, and then your wife sometimes she will become like, you know, secondary instead of the number one focus.
Yeah.
If you can make it through that period, then you'll be all right. But a lot of times it's a struggle for them to get through that. And I think that may be some of the thing with the girl that sent the letter in tonight. You know, both of them young. He young. He trying to get from point A to point B. He trying to get to point B in a short period of time. And because I was that guy one time. When I was young on the job, I was trying to make as much money as I could make.
Yeah.
As quick as I could. And there were some things that I wasn't doing at home that I should have been doing because I was a workaholic.
Working all the time.
If I could work, I could work. And then by the time I got to the place where I could just relax and smell the roses, a couple of roses that fell off already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard, but you just gotta stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you had to do it over, you would do some things different. You work less and spend more time with your wife.
I would work less.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. My wife trusted me to work a lot of overtime when I was trying to, get my house, and I was trying to buy some stock because I'd never heard of a leverage buyout, and my plant manager came and told me about it, and I worked a lot of overtime, but I got the money, bought the stock, bought the house, and almost all of my pictures was like this, Sammy. Almost all of my pictures for Christmas and Thanksgiving was me laying down in the bed when they brought the presents to the bed because I was working all the time.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. We have to make time for.
Yeah, I should have made more time
Yeah,
for
we.
my family when they
Yeah,
was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you young, you can't see that.
No, you can't see
yeah.
You
none of
can't
that
see that
money.
far. You know? Yeah, that's it.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big problem. Putting
Yeah.
things before
Mhm.
our families, even us. Like we have to take time for ourselves. That's
That's
important.
true.
It's been this has been a relief tonight.
Well, you got
Mm,
started in good time and you finished in good time. So
We got
yeah.
started on time and we end on time.
Yes,
Everything worked out perfect.
it did. Thank
Because it
y'all
wouldn't have been no other
so
way.
exactly.
Nope.
Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure for you
Great.
men to sit at the table with me tonight. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for watching the tea. Um, Shouts out to Victor and Fatine who could not be here tonight. Um, Mr. Sammy, thank you for always supporting the show and coming and sitting down tonight and actually being a guest. I appreciate you so much.
I
Thank
was
you.
when Veronica called and asked me would I be a guest, I didn't hesitate before she asked. I probably was saying yes. And then once I got here tonight, I told Veronica, I said there's no way that Carl and myself can fill the shoes or the seat that Victor and Fatine held.
Yeah, because they're
Because
controversial.
those guys, did such a great job.
Yeah.
And for the ones that don't know, me and Carl are Mayo High School class of '72. We're classmates, so Golden Bears.
The Golden Bears. I'm a devil, so not literally, but a blue devil. Shouts out to those Golden Bears. I can't be mad. My parents went to Mayo. Y'all know my parents.
Yeah.
They went to Mayo. So, Mr. Goodson, thank you so much.
It was good to be here again.
Yes.
It's always good to be on the Tangy Tea
Yes.
because subjects are great. You ask hard questions. You have some great people out there that are asking some great comments, and I appreciate them listening to us. Listen, I'm right there at 712 Society Hill Road. Come and see me if you got some problems. Me and my wife been married 47 years, soon 48. If there's something we can do, if you don't have anybody else to talk to, we're not going to say we're counselors, but we do love people and we do love each other. So,
Yes. That's such a
open
blessing.
invitation.
Oh,
Walk around in the yard like Sammy yard. We just walk around in the yard.
yeah.
So,
Oh my
Bed
gosh.
of Roses. Yep.
Love is such a beautiful thing. I say it again. Love, love, love.
love,
Love upon one another.
sweet love.
Mm. Thank y'all so much for watching. I apologize that I couldn't get to all of the comments tonight. I see you guys out there leaving comments, and hopefully I can go back through and Mr. Sammy, Mr. Goodson can go back through and we can comment on leave comments back to your comments that you left us tonight. But thank y'all so much. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to be a guest, if you have topic suggestions, if you have an email letter, send it to tangyteaoflife@gmail.com. And this is where we talk about any and everything. It doesn't matter what the topic is. It doesn't have to be about relationships. That's mainly what we talk about. But election season is coming up. I had a few folks that are running for seats or whatever that they may be coming on the show to talk about politics. which I'm not big on, but hey, it needs to be said. It
Yeah.
needs to be, they need to be heard.
That's true.
We have a big election coming up next year, and we all need to do our part and vote. So going to be looking for some of them to make an appearance on Tangy Tea of Life. But once again, Mr. Sammy, Mr. Carl, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Everybody out there, thank y'all so much for your support. I love you guys. Thank y'all for watching the tea. We will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. for some more hot tea. Until then, good night.
Good night, everyone.